let's get to AEW, because this is very interesting. I wonder if you had the exact same thing that I was thinking going into this first match. Okay, so they showed another video package on the history between Darby Allin and AR Fox. And Allin spoke about living in his car and training with Fox, who go for 13 hours per day, and basically just putting this kid over, and he's got his match now with Orange Cassidy, right? So he comes out.
Right.
And, bro, I was just this is what I was thinking, okay? I was saying I bet what they do here is, because they built this up, is that this AR Fox guy might like cheat to win, like do some heelish thing, and then Darby is going to come down because he put his name on him and like confront him about it.
Right.
But that's what I was thinking the angle would be.
Right.
Okay,
that's
like
what they should have done.
Well, no, that's what they did, kind of. Like, let's get
because he still won.
No. But the visual of okay. So they had a match, and this AR Fox guy, okay, he's decent. He's got good moves. He looks good and everything. But I cannot get over, bro. This guy doesn't do the thigh slap. He does the hand clap. Did you see that thing when he's kicking the guy and he puts his hand above his head and does the clap sound?
Yeah, you had me show it on the show before. We've looked at it.
Well, what is that? Like that's actually that what he's doing. He's doing
it's a clap. Yeah.
It seems like he'll kick, and then he'll do the slap like it's his super powered kick or something. I don't know.
It looks atrocious. I mean, it looks so stupid. But the rest of his stuff is fine. But he does that, and I can't get over how stupid that looks, right? So basically, they do the match. Darby goes over, does the thing afterwards. He's putting the guy over. He gives him the glasses, puts the glasses on him, and like they think the segment's ending. The kid takes the glasses off, crushes the glasses, and then attacks Darby and punch him with a pretty good looking punch too. It looked like it may have tagged him one, right? So then he like gets all flustered, like, well, what did I do? And he's coming to the back, and then Darby stops him. Like, comes out, confronts him. What are you doing? Like, I put my name on you. Darby's this guy.
Unbelievable. Very believable.
Right. So this was a good exchange, and I'm like thinking, like, this is good. This is how I would have booked this, right? So then in the very confusing part, while all this is going on, Moxley hits the ring and attacks Darby. And the announcers are very quickly trying to explain that this is because of something that happened on Friday night on Rampage while he's attacking him. And I'm like,
Moxley screaming it in the camera. It's going, yeah, that's for last time,
Right.
So
and I'm going, well, what last time? We would have liked to see what they're talking about. I mean, so like, they almost said it. Right. If they would have explained this and that would have come out, everything would tie
or
together.
Or shown a video. They have the video. That's your own company. Right. You can't do a B-roll. I mean, all right.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it. As Pal explains it here, DI, they did the big handshake after the Blood and Guts match where everybody's like, oh, respect. And then the following show, Moxley's just again, after that. I guess people were thinking, oh, maybe he's, turning back babyface, but no, not the case.
Right. Okay. So next is, so that was, so then it turns, okay, no, we'll get to that later, but I didn't like what they did with AR Fox after this. So Renee Paquette's on backstage set interviewing Jericho and Callis, and Jericho's acting very kind of disinterested here. She knows that Callis asked for time and said there was no pressure on Jericho to join the family, but he arranged a situation where Jericho could team with Takeshita. Then Jericho said Takeshita's amazing, so he'd give it a try. Then Callis informed Jericho that their opponents would be Sammy Guevara and Danny Garcia, and Jericho was hesitant. Callis recalled Jericho saying he wanted them to fly on their own, and Jericho agreed to the match. Then Callis showed off a painting he had commissioned that showed them shirtless with the smiling Bad News Allen above them. So this I thought this was an entertaining segment. Don was pretty funny. So they showed a vignette of Hook on a subway bench with the NFL title belt next to him, and the train drove by, and the belt was gone. I don't know what the purpose of that was. So then Claudio and Wheeler Yuta were in the locker room, and Castagnoli told kids not to play with fire, said the kids in AEW shouldn't mess with the Blackpool Combat Club. Castagnoli said if Pac thought the beating they gave him when anything at the beginning, he was mistaken. Then John Moxley entered the picture and said that he's what happens when you try to flex on his friends when he's not in the building. Then Moxley said anyone who thinks they are the coolest cats in the room should stay in their lane, and Moxley said the Lucha Brothers and Best Friends were playing with explosives and would get hurt. You gonna comment on anything so far?
No. I mean,
right. This is pretty big. Yeah, like I said, in a lot of these angles, there's not a lot of substance to what's going on. So Tony Schiavone,
at least the backstage promos have gotten better than they were before. Yeah.
So Jack Perry comes out with an I Beat Hook T-shirt and some classical music. Schiavone recalled Perry saying that he would bring home a world title and said he did. Perry said Hook realized after one loss he couldn't hang with the big boys and hopped on a train to nowhere. And Perry said that when he was going to win a championship, he wasn't thinking about the FTW title. He said it represents a second-rate company filled with scumbags. Then Perry said he became the real deal once he put his hands on it. He's the greatest wrestler to ever get within 100 feet of it. And he addressed Taz and told him he would run circles around him and his friends from back in the day. Then Jerry Lynn got mad at the disrespect of ECW. He came out and said, "That's enough, Jungle." Perry said he doesn't use that name anymore, and Lynn said he doesn't care what Perry calls himself. He said they paved the way for the younger generation ECW, and Lynn said without ECW, there wouldn't have been a Jungle Boy. I don't know what that means. But Lynn told Perry to keep running his mouth and get his ass kicked. And Perry told Lynn that he'd like to see who would kick his ass, and Lynn dropped his mic and glared at Perry.
What it means is because guys like his size were given a fair chance in ECW when other companies wouldn't do that.
Oh, okay.
So that's exactly what he's alluding to.
Starting with Eddie and Dean and Ray and
so Perry, So Perry told Lynn he'd like to see he would kick his. And Lynn dropped his mic and glared at Perry. Said he wasn't dressed for a fight. Said they would do things on his time, and next week he'd get a kick. I don't know if Jack Perry forgets his lines, but he constantly was like selling the crowd too much during his promo. Like he'd always pause and turn around and look at the crowd way too much. He should just done it like once or twice.
Somebody advised him.
He's definitely far more interesting as a heel than he was as a babyface, in my opinion. So, what did you think of this, Konnan?
We had a shirt said "I Beat Hook," which is something the old timers used to do. So obviously, somebody in the back is in his ear, right? And I believe talking to Jerry Lynn backstage because he's a kind of like us. He's like, I can't believe guys do this and guys do that. Like, he comes from our school of wrestling where logic was key and not just trying to get a pop. So I'm thinking he probably told Tony, or Tony asked him, "Hey, can you help Jack out?" Or he said, "Hey, give me Jack. I can get a good match out of him. He'll slow him down. He'll teach him how to work." That's what I'm thinking. And obviously he'll end up getting heat doing something to Jerry, who's kind of a beloved veteran. Well, not kind of, he is. And I also think, and we'll see her later on in the show, I have no clue why he is not coming out with his girlfriend, because she's hot.
Right.
And they could do one of two things. They could do the Elizabeth, Macho Man, where he treats her bad and she gets sympathy, or they could do like the Tay and Sammy, where Tay and Sammy, you hate them so much, you want to slap both of them like Dom. That's why Sam is having a hard time turning Sammy Guevara, because he was such a despicable, heel that people don't want to like him. Yeah.
I don't get the dynamic of, if you're going to put Sammy and his girl together, right, why are you not putting Anna and Jack Perry? Like, Anna's still part of the Jericho Appreciation Society. That makes no sense whatsoever.
It's gotta happen eventually, especially since Jack referenced it in a promo.
Right. So I don't get that.
Right.
Now Jerry hasn't wrestled for 10 years. How do you think? I mean, for me,
he'll be fine. Bro, I guarantee he's in the ring with those guys where he can work. Yeah.
I was gonna say, do you remember when Steamboat came back after 15 years and he wrestled Jericho?
I would just like to see if Jerry Lynn, when he works, if he's going to be a thigh slapper now, because he was not a thigh slapper.
I don't think he ever was. Yeah, we'll see.
All right, so backstage, Paquette interviewed Britt Baker, responded to the promo of the Taya cutter at Collision last week. Baker said she was excited about her first title match, said she truly respects Valkyrie. Baker said she can't think of a better opponent to remind everyone that TBS stands for the Brit Show. Okay, now, so we got this guy, Gravity. Cody, who is this Gravity? Do you know this Gravity guy? Who is he?
Yeah. He's the brother of Bandito. Yeah, he's a brother of Bandito.
Bandito's brother. Right. Okay. All right. They had a little video package of showing some of his moves, which is good. I guess he wrestled in one of the Ring of Honor show or something. So they just showed some stuff of the guy, but I don't know why this match is happening. But I don't know what Pac was doing here. Okay, how's Gravity's English?
Not good.
Okay. So just try to go back and remember how this match started. Where they're doing Gaga. Then they did a lot of stuff where they were sliding out of the ring and chasing each other. Just
right.
And these spots just ended up because maybe this Gravity, there's a communication problem. When they did the thing where they're running around the ring and Pac comes in the ring and I'm drop kicking him, that made Gravity look really stupid. He's the baby face and he got outsmarted by the heel. It looked like a goof running around the ring and just got drop kicked in the face and stuff everything. But this was, it's a lucha guy against Pac, and he basically beat him in 8 minutes and 15 seconds in a match that just was a weird whoever laid out the match laid out a very weird match for these two people. So that's what I noticed. What'd you think of this? Anything?
Well, here's the problem. Gravity's Bandito's brother. So Bandito actually asked me as a favor to put him on TV once. So, I put him on TV and he was not good. And I just told him, bro, he's not ready. And he needs, call me in 6 months to a year and let's see where he progresses. So the problem now is you've got two problems. When Commander got hot, which I was thinking he needed another year of seasoning before going to the United States. They found out in the United States and they immediately, wanted him. And it was too green. And you can see he was too green because you see it in his matches and they haven't really done anything with him again. But he's still good and he's going to be great. Gravity is not as good as Commander. And I think that Tony, as a favorite of Bandito, used him, but he's not that good. And, bro, him trying to walk like he was on the moon or something, that looked cheesy.
For the entrance.
Right, for the entrance. And he did it in the match when he walked really slow to the corner. I was like, bro, that's cheesy and corny at the same time. Yeah.
Well, it says here, and I'm not sure, Konnan, you'll know better, obviously, but it says here that like his match with Pac was only in the 9th match of his career. That's not right?
No.
Okay, because it only lists like 3 matches.
But he's not ready, and it was a favor. And in that company, they do favors for the guys that are over. Darby wanted to bring AR Fox, even though AR Fox is a monster, bro. He's a great. Let me tell you this: never in the history of AAA, I've been there over 20 years, have I seen 2 foreigners come in and have money thrown in their debut match, and it was Willie Mack and AR Fox had gone to another show in Mexico, and they called me and they said, hey, do you think you could use us on TV? And I said, I'm not sure, but just show up anyways. And they showed up, and 2 guys were not there that day, and they just went and did a match, and people threw money into the ring. The only guy I've ever seen do that, and it wasn't TV, was Marty Scurll. In his debut match in TJ, they threw money into the ring. But AR Fox is definitely talented, and has a lot more experience than Gravity.
Right. Okay, so next, from a segment that was taped last week,
right?
Paquette interviewed MJF and Adam Cole backstage. She tried to talk to Cole, but MJF pulled the mic toward him and said FTR's peak was during the Pinnacle. MJF mocked Dax harder by calling him Mr. Clean and Yosemite Sam. They mocked him for repeatedly saying he loves his business, his wife, and his daughter. And MJF said he would punch Harwood so hard he would spit out CM Punk's jockstrap. That was a good line. Cole said that when the tournament started, it was all about winning the gold, and Cole said it's become about friendship since then. And Cole said he never thought they'd become friends. Cole told MJF he has nothing to worry about when it comes to AEW World Championship, and Cole said MJF isn't just a friend or a close friend, he's become one of his best friends. Then MJF said win, lose, or draw around Collision, he wants to give Cole a rematch for the AEW World Championship. Then Roderick stormed in, still wearing his neck brace, and shoved MJF, and then Cole asked MJF for a minute with Strong. Once MJF left, Cole told Strong that he loves him like a brother, but Strong is acting crazy and pushing him away. Cole said he has other friends, and Strong has to trust him if he wants to stay friends, and Cole told Strong that he was going to talk to MJF, and Strong pulled Cole back, but Cole yelled, boundaries, and Strong told him that he's making a big mistake. Yeah. What did you think of this?
I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Please wait, because I want you to see this again if you missed it. Joe.
Yeah.
Please get the match between the match that's coming up, which is Strickland and Allen, at the end when Wayne comes in and starts throwing punches in the corner.
Oh my God, I was going to talk about
that. Was ridiculous. All right, but let's see it. Have it ready. But go ahead. Go to the match.
Okay. So then they go to a promo with FTR, and Cash Wheeler said he generally likes Cole. And he called MJF a generational talent, but he's really just a generational. And Wheeler said he likes Cole. They have to show MJF not to mess with FTR. And Dax also said he likes Cole. Makes it clear there's no love lost between him and MJF. Harwood took issue with them making a mockery pro wrestling. And Harwood said he would MJF, then apologized because his daughter was watching. He said he'd rip MJF's eyeballs out if he said something about his wife and daughter.
This is really good because they're either shooting on each other or they're doing a work shoot. And either way, it makes the promo sound better.
Right. So next is Swerve against Darby, and Darby's out there with Nick Wayne, and Swerve is with our boy Prince Nana. Some good stuff, a lot of creative spots in here. It did one where Darby went for his dive out of the ring. Swerve got him with a knee. So Swerve, I don't know why they got Swerve in this group. He should be a standalone character.
Very JoJo, that group.
Yeah, he looks good. He can cut a promo. I like his skill set in the ring. He's got a very unique offense but not like over the top, like just like it puts little flashy things in there, and he's got good ring presence, right?
Bro, how great was when he ran up the stairs and kicked him to the head?
Yes,
When he
that's
on the outside.
Right, he threw. He was the
He threw
steps
him
were
over
set up
the
on the outside.
stairs. Yeah.
Right, so he shot Darby. Darby's going to shoot him into the steps. Swerve reversed it.
Switched it, right? Reversed
Darby
it.
climbed up over the steps and did a roll, and then
Right.
Swerve came running up the steps and jumped up in the air and gave that side kick to the head of Darby.
Right. That was great.
Yeah.
That was great. And then here's what's this?
So.
Oh no, I'm just getting to it. I was just putting it on the screen.
Yeah.
This is like
All right.
close to the
So
end.
next, they get near the end. Swerve did a Death Valley driver in the apron. Okay, then Swerve got to the ring
from the second rope.
Yeah, from the second rope onto the apron.
Oh, look at this! Here it is right now too.
Okay, so then Wayne encouraged Allen, who got back in the ring. Then AR Fox showed up, and the announcers pretended like they didn't know who that was, and it was clearly AR Fox, who almost missed his spot. Okay, because I think he was supposed to get there sooner, but they ended up burying the ref because I think Prince Nana missed his spot on the other thing, but the referee was looking right at AR Fox interfering and had to immediately turn around and because so once again they have a finish in this company that involves the referee and it just does not work. The timing's off, the referee sees whatever. It was just but that's the only bad thing about this. And so AR Fox attacks him. Then Wade tried to make the save and I want to call these punches.
All right,
he was throwing punches at the guy in the corner, but let's look at these. And
this was terrible.
This is very embarrassing.
I'll tell you ahead of time.
All right,
go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I was just fixing the volume.
Oh my god! You know what that looks? You know what that reminded me of? Shane McMahon. Okay, so basically AR Fox, they laid these guys out.
Did you see how crisp AR Fox works? He's a veteran, bro.
Yeah,
he knows what he's doing. Right. Now let me ask you two questions. Yeah, this is terrible. And let me ask you two questions. Number one, why does everybody come out with their entourage, but this guy didn't? He just came out with Prince Nana. That's number one. Number two, I'm going to tell you the members of his group, and you tell me if they in any way fit with him or are cool or add anything, okay? To both of you. I'll start with Joe. Prince Nana.
Never been a fan of Prince Nana, ever.
Disco?
It's been like 20 years.
I don't know anything about the guy either.
All right.
So.
Right.
Ring of
and
Honor,
he adds nothing.
Coast,
he adds nothing, bro. He adds absolutely nothing. Okay. The other one, the two African-American guys that we don't see them anymore, that they lost like in their first big match. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah,
one guy that was crazily tattooed.
They look kind of Samoans. They kind of look like Samoans, but I think they're African-Americans. Jungle Tribe or some. Their name. Could you check?
Mm-hmm.
And then and then Brian Cage. What is he doing in that group?
Okay.
Right.
No, just a random. So afterwards, they give AR Fox.
This guy's the names are Konnan, Koun, Konnan, and Toa Leona.
Yeah, but what's their name? Just Brothers of Destruction or something like that, right? Or what's their name? I might get the wrong group there.
Let me see if I can find the team name.
Yeah, they have a team name. But anyways, bro, everybody he's got on there looks like scrubs. Brian does not belong in there. Maybe him and AR Fox will be a better, but they just have guys there that don't belong. That's my point.
The Gates of Agony.
Gates of Agony. Tremendous. Let me kazoo that name. Why aren't they there? Where were they? Why don't they come out with them? Yeah.
I don't know, but now they got
Swerve. Remember that Swerve also had two other guys, the Stitches and the other guy that, the two guys that were all tatted up. I think one got let go. I don't know what happened to the other one. It's just so weird how they rotate people in and out with no explanation. That's really my point.
So basically, the end of this, they give Nana gets the Mogul Embassy T-shirt to AR Fox. So now they have another member. So backstage, Paquette was in the hallway where Anna Jay, Tay Mello, Menard, and Parker were standing outside Jericho's dressing room. Jericho showed up, invited him inside, and the Callis painting was on the wall. Jericho asked Mello about the baby he was showing. Mello said the baby's great and asked what's going on with Jericho. Parker pulled out his comb and said Jericho gave it to him, and he said he wasn't giving it back yet. But Parker said the crew means the world to him, and he thinks it means the same to Jericho, but he's not entirely sure anymore. Jay said Jericho's being selfish. Jay said they spent all this time approaching him, he doesn't appreciate them. Jay said they can't give him 100%, and Jericho asked if he thought it was easy for him as they all exited the room. Menard said it didn't, told me better figure it out fast. Any comment about this segment? It's Jericho's kind of like acting like a baby face now, so I've noticed that. Okay, so what did you think of this match, Britt Baker versus Taya Valkyrie? Because this was a lot of bad stuff mixed with a lot of good stuff, and really nothing in between. They had some good spots. They blew some spots. They looked like the match, the communication broke down at one point. They started going into like Taya looked like she was almost winning business for herself. There, I don't know. This match was a mess. But Valkyrie went for road. They actually did a botch on one of that sit out thing that she does, and she dropped her, and then she just fell. I don't know. This is hard.
Bro, let me tell you, I don't know what happened, but I think that it almost like there was a spot that they up on, and you know how in the old school, like they'll just give you a receipt for it up. It almost felt like she was giving her a receipt with elbows and some good rights, and she was really physical with her, bro.
Right.
Like she was letting her have it. And they also said this was their first matchup ever. I wish they would have made a bigger deal about that. Poor Taya, obviously, you know, she's somebody I worked with for many years. So I'm probably being biased here, but I just think she deserves better than coming in and getting beat by Jade Cargill and Britt Baker. No offense to either one of them. You know, she was a good foe because they needed opponents, and she came in there and she did the job twice. Hopefully she'll get paid for it because I think she's more valuable than how they're using.
All right, well, let me say this. The highlight of this was after the match. They literally, the camera had its center screen, and they went to a shot where the camera, like a zoom in a little bit on it, they right to a sign that they showed it for multiple seconds. A sign said, "Book the women's division better."
Right.
And that's just like the camera was just focused right on the sign. I was like, how on earth did that? I go, were they in the truck, or are they literally with Tony on this?
Well, not just
that looked like something that doesn't happen. That should not happen. The camera guy should not be shooting that, and the director should not go to that shot and stay on it, which is what they did. But what would you think about that?
Yeah, well, those are the same guys that catch Moxley blading and other. You know, it's like I don't know what the going on back there. They should have an agent back there saying, "Hey, this is coming up. Take the camera away from there." You know, telling them, you know, what to do. And it's very strange.
Who's the director? Who's the director in the truck? Do you know?
I don't know anymore. It used to be Kevin Mitchell, but he retired.
Keith Mitchell.
Keith Mitchell. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's not there anymore, huh?
Yeah, I don't know who it is.
I'd like to know. Bro, even WCW's production wouldn't make errors like that. You know.
I mean, there was times where they would zoom in.
I'll give you an example. When Nick Wayne, just one thinking, when Nick Wayne was punching that falsely in WWE, they would have said, "Pull away, far away shot, something." Right? They stayed there and buried the guy and buried the product.
Yep. All right. So next,
I was going to say just real quick, Dad. It was like back in the day, WCW would do silly focus on a guy's sign that would be like, "I'd rather be at Raw." Like, why are you showing that? You know. But that's all. That's all.
Next is they cut to Jay Lethal, Sanjay, and Satnam backstage by getting a shot of the tag titles because no one could throw Singh over the top rope. Then up next, Prince Nana stood with Brian Cage and Big Bill and said they were taking the titles. Then Ethan Page and Brother Zay spoke about getting a shot at becoming the number one tag team contenders for the titles. Then Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy spoke. What does this have the earmarks of? Is a 4-way probably coming up out of all that. Those are so lame. I can't. Those interviews like that to me are a complete waste of time. So what do we got here? Okay, so the main event. I'm surprised Moxley didn't bleed. However, bro, I mean, did you notice this? They did a spot where Claudio and Moxley are selling to the floor. Okay, Moxley's on the opposite side of the ring on the hard cam side, literally just sitting down, leaning up against the barricade, just like watching the match, like not selling, just sitting there, just sitting down where he's visible in the shot, standing there just watching everybody in the ring work, like not like hiding or getting off camera or anything. Did you notice that spot?
No, but I've seen him do that before. Bro, there's a spot at the very beginning. Joe, see if you can find it, because I don't think Disco saw it.
There's a lot of brawling. There's like
at the very beginning when they're brawling outside, and somebody grabs him, and they go to hit his head on the stairs, and he hits his hand on the stair. Thank God he didn't sell his head, but he just hit his hand, and you could see the camera right there again, hand, and he just kept walking. And I was like, "What? Just show it, Joe." So I want to get Disco. He could say, "Oh, I tried to block it." You know, that could be a good excuse, but I don't want you to watch this.
But the only thing of note in this match, okay, is
before that, so at the beginning.
Right. So the only thing of note in this match is that our boys Penta Phoenix actually went over. Okay,
Right.
so they
Well,
actually got to
that's
win, like right? So
that's probably why the best friends were there, because they didn't want
Right.
the other the job.
right.
Before this,
So basically, they start brawling after the match. The brawling after the match is like going on. Cassidy comes out there. He's trying to get back at them and stuff for attacking them. And they're all brawling. The brawling didn't look good. And the announcers are saying, like, Tony Khan has just announced next week a 3-way, an anything goes match with Moxley, Beretta, and Penta. And it's like,
here you go.
Get it.
Oh.
Did you see it? Did you see it?
No.
Go,
Yeah.
go back.
Wait, do it again. Do it again.
Yeah.
I miss it.
It's like 5-10 seconds. Watch. Punch, punch, punch. Now he's going to take him over to the stairs. Oh, Johnny.
So kind of rough. Like I said, like they don't really pay a lot of attention to the details of the brawls in AEW because the brawling looks atrocious every time they do it. Like none of those guys brawl good, and like Moxley's supposed to be a brawler, and he didn't even look good brawling. So I don't know. But next, there's a weird way to end the show and a weird.
Sometimes he
I like
brawls
the
really good.
next week.
Sometimes he actually brawls really good. It's just he's very inconsistent. Sometimes you look at him and it almost feels like he's going through the motion. Other times he's bringing it.
That's been our AEW review. Oh, what did it do, Joe? By the way, I think it did almost 900, right?
898 down from 953.
Yeah, down a little bit from last week. So,
what do you think of the show?
I'm interested in the MJF stuff. The rest of the stuff, the Darby's a good character. He's like,
right.
He's like kind of the only interesting character in the middle of all these angles that he's in. Like he's the most compelling one. All the other stuff I don't care about. I mean, be honest with you.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that are interesting. Chris Jericho and Don Callis, how's that going to turn out, right? Yeah. MJF, and now we've got Fox, who just joined Swerve, and that might be good. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll probably be fighting Darby, and they're all boys, so they'll all have good matches. You know what I'm saying? So there's a couple good things going on, and the show's easier to watch than before.
Next week is the big 200th episode of Dynamite, so maybe they'll.
Yeah, and they've already announced Moxley versus Beretta versus Penta in a 3-way anything goes match.
And then Jericho and Takeshita versus Navarre and Garcia, Perry and Lynn.
All right, so that's been our AEW review.
Wow.